Change is. I wanted to say when I was titling this, change is inevitable. Change is going to happen no matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter what we think, no matter what we feel, no matter what in the world, change is going to happen. It's going to happen no matter what. But change is, and I thought change is, I could say something about it, or I could just really point out the fact that change is. It just is. There are very few things in our lives that are guaranteed. Very, very few. I mean, we're born, we're going to die. It's inevitable. You're going to die at some point. I know, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but we're going to die. We're all going to die. There aren't very many things like that. But death, and they say taxes, but taxes is a man-made, made-up thing, so that's not necessarily inevitable. There's a whole lot of people that probably never pay taxes, which has nothing to do with anything. But death, we're all going to die. Change, no matter what, it's one of those things that it just is. There aren't that very many things. I'm trying to think of what other things are just a given and a constant and no matter what, it's going to happen. So given that everything is always changing, I mean, think about change. Think about all the things that are changing. Think about you and me. I think about every day, even though we might look pretty similar from day to day, every single day, how many millions of cells in our body, I don't remember the science or the numbers or the statistics, but millions of of cells within our body are dying and being replaced and being reborn every single day. So we're not officially the exact same person when we wake up tomorrow as we were when we went to sleep tonight. Everything is changing, including us. I think of a river, and there's a saying that you can never step in the same water of a river twice, because rivers are always flowing and moving. So that's a really good example that we can look at. Think of weather, the seasons. You know, weather's pretty unpredictable. We have forecasters that get paid, a lot of money to predict and guess, and we have apps and everything else that is there to predict and let us have a heads up and a warning in the weather. But the truth is, how often is that absolutely 100% accurate? Almost never, because weather is another one of those things that is forever and perpetually changing, and it's unpredictable. We really don't know what to expect. Yeah, things kind of go in cycles. We have seasons, but even those cycles are very variable, right? Everything is different. One winter isn't the same as the last winter. One spring, one summer, one fall. The temperatures, everything is always changing. So, given that all these things are always changing, what the heck are we supposed to do about it, right? What are we supposed to do, given that we know we're going to die someday? What are we supposed to do about that? I say live your life to the absolute fullest and don't really worry about or fret about dying someday, because you're gonna. And here's the thing, we don't know when it's going to happen. We never know when it's going to happen. Now, have I always had this attitude about death? Yes, I pretty much have. And it's pretty interesting, because when I was 50, which was 10 years ago now, I just had my 10-year anniversary, I had a sudden cardiac arrest and I actually died. And ever since then, before then I wasn't really afraid of dying. I don't know why, I just never was really afraid of it. Now, totally, absolutely, positively not afraid of it. It's going to happen. So why would I waste any of my time and energy and beliefs and mental capacity worrying about something I have zero control over? Now, does that mean I want to die sooner than later? No. Did I change my eating habits, my sleep, my thinking, my what I did and how I spent my time since that event? Absolutely, positively. Why? Because I want to stretch out that inevitable. I want to hang out for a few more decades before I finally check out for the last time here on planet Earth. But that's how I'm dealing with that particular inevitability that I really do not have the absolute ability to change. It's uncertain, it's unpredictable. I can have an impact on it by the choices I make now, but I could still get hit by a bus tomorrow, right? I could still trip down the hill, hit my head on the road, and that could be it on one of my daily walks. We never know. And part of that is what makes living and making decisions and choices now so much fun, because we don't know exactly how everything's going to turn out. Now, how do we handle change? How do we deal with change, knowing that things are always changing, things are always going to be different, and that change is absolutely positively going to happen no matter what? I haven't met anyone yet that can stop and freeze time or freeze things so that they don't change, right? We try to preserve things. We try to preserve our food so it lasts longer, but inevitably everything is always changing. Even freezing is changing the state of something. So how do we handle change? Well, that's what the Get Up and Go Challenge is all about. It's all about having a framework, the SOAP framework, and we're going to talk about it and work through it and practice it for 30 days, starting October 1st through 31st, right here on the Get Up and Go Challenge page. But that's how I have learned to deal with and automatically handle the inevitability of change, and that changes always happen. But knowing that change is always happening is a positive, good, awesome thing, because it means I can try something today, and if it doesn't work, I can try something else right after it or tomorrow, right? Until I figure out what works for me. And our life is all about creating the best life for ourselves, the best version of ourselves as we live our life, experiencing this life as only you and I uniquely can. And part of that means having tools in our little toolbox, like the SOAP framework, that help us automatically guarantee we're going to be better off no matter what change, no matter what situation we face after that change has happened to us than before. So if we're experiencing something like COVID-19, guess what? It equips us with the ability to know and the certainty to know that no matter what happens, we will be better off after that change, after that event, after that situation impacts us than before it actually hit us or impacted us. And that's what I love the most about the Get Up and Go Challenge, is that it not only prepares me for the current situation, what's going on right now, but that and every other situation that I'm ever going to come upon, that I'm ever going to experience in my life, so that I know that I'm always going to be better off and moving toward what I want than had I not had that experience. Now that sounds really crazy sometimes, but I will absolutely positively attest that I am way happier, way better off after having died, having a sudden cardiac arrest, than I was before. Does that mean my life was bad before? No, my life was pretty awesome before. I just wasn't living in alignment with who I really am, and that felt bad to me. So even having a near-death experience or dying, having a death experience, you can be better off using the SOAP framework than before that happened to you. And if you install it in your subconscious like we do in the Get Up and Go Challenge, it will happen on autopilot. It'll happen automatically for you like it does for me now. And that's what I want. That's what I want to help you and everybody else that I can come in contact with do as part of this transition, as part of the impact that COVID-19 is having on each and every one of us, so that it doesn't impact us in a negative way. So it doesn't destroy our lives or cause us to become ill or whatever else. So that's our lesson for today, our setup for success. Change is inevitable, so what are you going to do about it, right? Given that it's certain, the only thing certain is that change is going to happen, right? That there's going to be change. So given that change is, it just is, it's a certainty, how are we going to respond to it? And SOAP, the SOAP framework, gives us an absolute positive tool for positively handling it, and putting the odds in our favor, right? From the Hunger Games movies, may the odds ever be in your favor, may the odds ever be in your favor, whatever the line was. But it always made me kind of smile, because there absolutely positively are ways to set yourself up for success. And that's exactly what we're doing here today. Have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, or if you have any questions about this, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow with another interesting lesson that I've learned throughout my many decades of existence here on the planet, and hopefully they can help you to shortcut some of the process, some of the trial and error that you might be experiencing in your life. Take care.